Carlos Alberto Valderrama Palacio, also known as El Pibe, is a Colombian former footballer who played as a midfielder. His distinctive blonde hair, coupled with his flamboyant technique on the ball and ability as a playmaker, made him one of Colombia's most recognizable footballers, and arguably, one of the most recognizable footballers around the globe historically. Valderrama was a member of the Colombian national football team in the 1990s. Between 1985 and 1998 he represented Colombia in 111 full internationals and scored 11 times, making him the most capped player in the country's history. Valderrama was known for the accuracy of his passing and assisting, his vision and tactical brain, which allowed him to have a strong presence without the necessity of running as much as it would be expected, his precise technique on the ball, and his clean assists. Valderrama played a huge role during the golden era of Colombian football during the 1990s. In 2004, Valderrama was included in the FIFA 100, a list of greatest living footballers, chosen by Pelé to celebrate the 100th anniversary of FIFA. At the end of his career, Valderrama played in Major League Soccer, joining the league in its first season. The most recognizable player in the league at the time, he helped popularize the league during the 1990s and attract other foreign footballers to ply the trade in the league. To this day, he is an icon as one of the most decorated playmakers to ever play in MLS. Career. Valderrama began his career at Union Magdalena of the Colombian First Division in 1981. He also played for Millonarios and Deportivo Cali before joining the Montpellier of the French First Division in 1988. He then went on to play for Independiente Medellin and then Atletico Junior, for whom he won the Colombian Championship in 1993 and 1995. In 1996, he went to the U.S. to play for the Tampa Bay Mutiny, Miami Fusion, and Colorado Rapids. While a member of the Mutiny, the team would sell Carlos Valderrama wigs at Tampa Stadium. In Major League Soccer, Valderrama scored relatively few goals for a midfielder, but is the league's second all-time leader in assists after Steve Ralston, a former teammate. In 2005, he was named to the MLS all-time best she. He was also named one of the top players of the 20th century by Pelé in 1999. MLS career. Valderrama began his Major League Soccer career with the Tampa Bay Mutiny in the league's inaugural year of 1996, and won its first Most Valuable Player award. In 2000, Valderrama recorded the only 20-plus assist season in MLS history, ending the season with 26, a record that remains intact today, and which MLS itself suggested was an unbreakable record in a 2012 article. Valderrama remained in the league until 2002, playing for the Mutiny, Miami Fusion, and the Colorado Rapids in his 8-year American soccer career. Retirement as player. In February 2004, Valderrama ended his 22-year career in a tribute match at the Metropolitan Stadium of Barranquilla, with some of the most important football players of South America, such as Diego Maradona, Enzo Francescoli, and José Luis Chilavert. Valderrama has since become assistant manager of Atletico Junior. On November 1, 2007, Valderrama accused a referee of corruption by waving cash in the face of Oscar Julian Ruiz when the official awarded a penalty to América de Cali. Junior lost the match 4-1, which ended the club's hopes of playoff qualification. playing style. The first and arguably the last thing to know about Pibe Valderrama is that the qualities most commonly associated to him are in fact remarkably inaccurate. Always defined as a slow player, but watching him run at full speed puts that myth to bed very quickly. Not a fast player, but definitely not a slow player either. Always defined as lazy, when in fact, when he played at Montpellier, he was one of the most hard-working creative players in the world. His movement off the ball resembled the movement of a modern player, more than it resembled the movement of players of the early 1990s. Valderrama was, for example, substantially comparable to Ruud Gullit in terms of mileage per game value, and Ruud Gullit is universally known as one of the most industrious, creative players of all time. World Cup 1990 serves as a remarkably accurate barometer in that regard, in that both Gullit and Valderrama played against West Germany. In fact, Valderrama played the third group stage game against West Germany, and then Gullit played the round of 16 against West Germany. So not only did they play against the same opponent, but they played against West Germany more or less at the same exact time, in the same exact tournament. And so, Colombia versus West Germany, and Netherlands versus West Germany, those two games demonstrate in great detail that Valderrama's work rate, work ethic, mileage per game, was not in the slightest lazy, nor slow, nor lethargic, nor any of the other widely accepted clichés that define Valderrama in the collective conscience. In reality, Valderrama was essentially a flair and grit type of player. Very similar to Andrés Iniesta, Valderrama was one of the first players of that style. In the generations to follow, other players who could be defined as flair and grit are Dennis Bergkamp, Luis Figo, Rivaldo, Andrea Pirlo, Andrés Iniesta, Eden Hazard, etc. Such players are still incredibly rare today. Although Valderrama was known and defined as a classic playmaker, in reality it was brutally evident that he wasn't a classic playmaker, because classic playmakers are not flair and grit type of players. Classic playmakers are more direct, less defensive, less hard-working, typically take a lot more shots at goal, and don't actively play in the deep infield areas that Valderrama was most comfortable in. Valderrama was unequivocally not a classic playmaker. Quote, "He was not slow, he wasn't lazy, and he also wasn't a classic playmaker." Three of the most widely used definitions for Valderrama are blatant misconceptions that are proven as misconceptions by the sheer volume of self-evident evidence in the form of the actual videos of the actual games. The Valderrama arguably is one of the most misunderstood football players of all time. By and large, the descriptions about him are wildly inaccurate, not based on anything real nor consistent. It is in conclusion rather obvious that Valderrama, playing in the United States in the twilight of his career, helped define the misconceptions about Valderrama, namely him being slow and lazy, and a classic playmaker, none of which applies to Valderrama's prime, but characteristics that arguably and consistently apply to the old 36-year-old Valderrama that played in the MLS. The Valderrama's instantly recognizable features were, of course, the big hair, but perhaps more importantly, his agile and electric and elegant feet. Agility and electric-like are not obvious characteristics that one would tend to readily associate to a player who wasn't fast, but that's part of the charisma about Valderrama's unique characteristics. His footwork was similar to that of much smaller and shorter players, which for a player of Valderrama's physical build was not a common feature. Although his passing ability was considered to be as good as the best European players of the time, it was his ability to shield the ball that differentiated him from most of his peers. players. His ball retention ability was always the subject of praise. Not only remarkably efficient from a practical point of view, but also unique and a joy to watch from a purely aesthetic argument, thereby defining Valderrama as a logical fan favorite for both South American and European viewers. Valderrama's passing was highly accurate and versatile to the point where he held a consistent rate of assists, and was often involved in plays that often related to goals. This also involved free kicks, whether supporting his teammates or attempts on goal. His creativity made him very influential, to the point where he became a known legend throughout South America, and eventually throughout the world of football. Aside from his passing talents, Valderrama held very precise ball control and dribbling abilities that were supported by quick reactions, and his disciplined mindset. This allowed him to perform impressive plays that have been highlighted throughout his career. A team player, Valderrama was also known to be an extremely selfless midfielder for both club and nation. One of his most impressive moments was during the 1990 FIFA World Cup last group stage match against Germany, in a game where Colombia needed at least a draw to survive into the next round. Pierre Litbarski scored what appeared to be the winning goal in the 88th minute of the game. However, within what was sure to be the last few seconds of the added extra time, Valderrama made a crucial left-footed pass to Freddy Rincon, who equalized immediately and saved Colombia into the next round. Personal life. The Valderrama is married and has 3 children. Valderrama was the only Colombian to feature in FIFA's 125 top living football players list in March 2004. He is currently a coach for a football academy called Clearwater Galactics in Clearwater, Florida. Honors: Club Montpellier HSC French Cup 1990. Atletico Junior Colombian Championship 1993-1995. Tampa Bay Mutiny MLS Supporters Shield 1996. Individual Copa America MVP 1987. South American Footballer of the Year 1987-1993. South American Team of the Year 1987, 1993, 1996. MLS All-Star of the Year 1996. Major League Soccer MVP 1996. FIFA 100 Golden Foot 2013 as football legend. World Soccer, the 100 greatest footballers of all time. Other recognition: Valderrama appeared on the cover of International Superstar Soccer Pro 98. In the Nintendo 64 version, he is referred to by his nickname El Pibe. A 22-foot bronze statue of Valderrama, created by Colombian artist Amilcar Ariza, was erected outside Estadio Eduardo Santos in Valderrama's birthplace of Santa Marta in 2006. Valderrama has also received a legend card in each sports soccer video game. FIFA 15. Statistics. International goals, scores and results lists Colombia's goal tally first.